Alrighty, well, hello sinners. How are ya?
Beautiful.
Okay, good.
On today's installment of the Letterboard of Truth, our quote of the day is...
Happy Straight Month, everyone. I am a straight woman, so you know.
Finally getting some recognition for your heterosexuality.
It's really hard being me, yeah.
So one of life's greatest mysteries is arguably, what is a woman? Do you know what a woman is?
Never heard of it.
Fake.
I think it's some sort of like sea creature.
They're fake like mermaids.
Mermaids aren't fake.
Do you know something I don't?
I know a lot of things, yes.
But not what a woman is, apparently.
No, not me. I'm not that smart.
Well, today we're finally going to answer one of life's greatest mysteries. Thanks to Mr. DrWitnesser here. Have you seen him floating around Twitter and YouTube lately?
Fortunately, no. He looks like quite the character, though. I'm excited to get into it.
So his whole shtick is essentially going on Fortnite to talk to children about the Bible.
Aren't these the same people that call us groomers?
Mm-hmm.
It's giving hypocrite.
Right. Like if I went on to talk about gay stuff or you went on to talk about trans stuff, we would be called all sorts of names.
Yes, and we are.
We'd be canceled in a heartbeat.
Well, they would try.
Like in any other context, this seems like something you do to get on some sort of watch list.
And he's putting it on the internet, so he's giving us a lot of evidence.
He went viral a couple weeks ago asking children about trans people on Fortnite, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to get you in a video to react to this little goofball here.
You're a little godly goofball.
So I hope you're excited. And his name is Edward Preach. He's living up to his name.
I go into games and tell people about Jesus.
And God.
And the Bible. No Bible hate. I love the Bible. I swear.
Yeah, she has a few questionable passages, but...
What are you talking about?
You're right. What am I saying? I'm just a heathen lesbian.
A sinner.
We should all be sinners. Subscribe. So I think without any further ado, we need to see this guy convert some children on Fortnite.
Yes. I need to know the word of God. What's God have to say about a woman? A women, sorry.
A women, right. Females.
What is a woman, bro? Stop stalling.
He said, I need to know.
Tell me!
You know.
I mean, he definitely has all the answers.
Yeah, I'm excited to be enlightened.
Today's video is about What is a Woman? Fortnite edition. That's right, it's about that most recent documentary on Twitter that Matt Walsh released that at the point of making this video has gotten 158 million views.
150 million people have gotten brain rot.
Yeah, right. 158 million people now are upset with their lives, yes. I guarantee that 158 million people did not watch over 1.1 second of that documentary.
Right? I'm sure Elon had a hand in making sure as many people as possible promoted it.
Him and his non-binary kid, right?
Well, he recently said that cisgender's a slur.
It's just biological. I'm just a normal girl.
I'm sorry that you have to face this.
It's really hard. It's really, really hard. They're taking away my identity, like who I am, like...
Can't even go to the bathroom anymore.
Yeah, you know. You get it.
As a lesbian, I'm with you. I'm in my Ariel Scarcella era. What can I say?
Canceled. You're canceled.
Ooh.
Ooh. Gotta go.
Is it possible to get hate crimes through a computer screen?
You're right. I'm just like, oh, just kidding. I don't promote violence. I swear.
We're just innocent, sweet little girls doing our sweet little innocent YouTube video.
Just being godly women. Mm-hmm. Read the Bible. Subscribe.
Or you're gonna go to hell and be a sinner, not the fun kind.
Not the fun kind. You don't even get to have gay sex. Like, what?
That's worth going to hell for.
So we're going into Fortnite asking people if they saw the documentary and if they did, what they thought about it, and ultimately asking the same question, what is a woman? We got some pretty interesting responses, and I think you're going to want to stick around to the end to see them all. It's some good entertainment, if anything.
How do you think the children on Fortnite are going to respond to this grown man?
I mean, personally, when I'm trying to play a video game, I'm not here to talk about the Bible or even trans things. Like, as a trans person, surprise, I am a trans person. Yeah, I would be pissed if somebody asked me about that kind of stuff playing Fortnite. Like, friendly fire, come here. You're on my team? Not anymore.
I always turn off the chat to protect my peace.
Hope you enjoy the video.
I love the little music break.
Right? He put some thought into this. I like how the outro is at like the 1 minute mark of the video. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, right. Video over. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Go read the Bible.
That's probably his outro.
You can get your personalized copy of the Bible at my link.
He has like an Amazon storefront.
He makes commission from the Bible.
Just like what God wanted.
As God intended, yes.
God would never flip over his table.
He might steal his money. God needs money.
He has a Patreon, actually.
He does have a Patreon. I'm subscribed. I'm a godly woman, I've been saying.
What tier are you?
The godly tier? There's like a sinner tier, redemption, godly tier. I'm like way up there, yeah.
You have access to his exclusive Discord.
I've seen some things on that Discord.
I don't doubt it.
I'll tell you some later.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, bro, have you seen that new documentary that's out on Twitter? What is a Woman?
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
I felt like with me not knowing some of the parts and me knowing some, I feel like it should have been a little bit more looked on instead of him. Like, I feel like it should have been more, like, looked into, to be honest.
He was talking to professional experts on the matter.
He said, what do you mean? He did a great job. He did amazing.
It was great. As an unbiased commentator, I think he did amazing.
I just genuinely appreciate Matt Walsh's work.
His dedication to transphobia is something we should all strive for. He had experts like Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Dr. Jordan Peterson. Yes, the professional.
I want everyone to tweet in response to this video a fan cam of Jordan Peterson.
I'm good. I don't need to see any more videos of Jordan Peterson. I'm good. I'm gonna shield my eyes.
You're good for the rest of your life.
Remember that godly Discord? It's not good.
He's also in the godly tier.
Unsubscribe. Block. Cancel.
My friends were like, yeah, it was a good idea, them talking about it, but they were like, oh yeah, they should have put more time into it and talking about it. Like, Matt Walsh should have, like, thought about it and been like, all right, so what would the pros and cons be of this?
Did he just call Matt Walsh lazy?
You can already see, like, the steam coming out of this guy's head. Like,
He didn't put a lot of time into this. He just, like, went up and harassed women at women's marches.
lied to some doctors to get into a room with them.
Didn't he post, like, a picture of, like, a minor's, like, top surgery?
Yeah, that sounds like something you would do, for sure.
But it's to protect the children, Samantha.
It's not like he's exposing, you know, a minor's private information and their naked bodies, but it's fine. It's what God would have wanted.
No, real talk, though, thinking about that is, like, actually so up.
They literally emailed me, like, from his business partner or whatever, like, oh, we would love to do an interview with you. Like, it's going to be this great LGBT friendly thing. Like, it's going to be wonderful. And it just, I mean, obviously it didn't come out that way, but yeah, they just lie.
You were supposed to be in the documentary?
I mean, they tried.
I'm so sorry. You dodged a bullet there.
I did. I mean, imagine though.
Imagine the clout.
He could have saved me, my Christian followers.
You finally look for the godly man you've been searching for your whole life.
To serve and make sandwiches for.
To serve.
To serve.
We're always serving. Not always God, but we are serving.
We're serving something.
I'm giving gay today. I look like I'm going to build a bookshelf.
One of the people that Matt interviewed, was it correct? Oh gosh, I don't even know. It was just too much detail for me.
That was a good headshot.
Get him, get him!
I got, like, invested in the gameplay for a second.
I mean, there's nothing else interesting going on, so yeah, just some rambling about God.
And just him riding Matt Walsh.
Let's say, like, a girl, she can be well, like, caring.
I'm sorry, did he say carrying or caring?
I think caring.
Oh, well, I don't care. So he's wrong. I simply don't. Also, this guy was like, I've been tricked a couple times. What does that mean? Like a transvestite? Like, they tricked you?
I would love for him to elaborate.
Those transies, they do be tricking people, I swear.
Tricksters.
Little traps. Isn't that like the anime term?
I think it should be called girl bossing.
Yeah, that's called hustling. What are you talking about? Trapping.
Am I gonna get canceled for saying that?
Nobody likes them anyways, it's fine. I'm just kidding, everyone. I'm just kidding. This is just a joke.
It's all jokes here. Except this guy, he's serious.
Yeah, no, he hates us.
Even one of my friends was like, yeah, I've dealt with abuse when I was little, and, like, I can get what she's going through, and yeah, I know there's other people that have gone through this, and it's like, she's not the only one. I'm one of the only ones too.
So that's your answer on what is a woman.
I had more.
I had more!
I wasn't done here. They're both confusing me.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I kind of agree with the confusion on Mr. Dr. Witness's face, because I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
Is he implying, like, trans people are only trans because of trauma?
That's a claim, for sure.
I could be grasping at straws here.
No, he's confused.
Yeah, I mean, coming out, I'm sure, can cause trauma, depending on who you're surrounded with.
Being forced to be a gender that you're not for years of your life, that could be traumatic.
Or being forced to talk about stuff like this while you're trying to play Fortnite.
Being confronted by Dr. Bible here.
Dr. Bible, that's incredible. He got a PhD, not a PhD.
He's an educated man. He read that book forward, backwards, in between, wrote his own little passage.
He was credited.
I was gonna say that.
Wow, it's impressive. So maybe we shouldn't be making fun of him.
Who's making fun?
Definition of a woman.
Definition. I don't know what she's talking about. Oh yeah, like yeah, she has hair and whatnot, or what?
They're both talking in circles.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what a definition is. I don't know what you're asking me for.
Like, this kid just got home from school. He wants to play Fortnite.
Also, the fact that this kid took notes in the documentary.
He did?
That's what he said. He said, let me get my notes.
Just like a whole study guide.
Imagine taking out a notepad to like document what you learn in a Matt Walsh documentary.
That's like an oxymoron, learning something from a Matt Walsh video.
That's why he was stuttering so much. He didn't learn a single thing.
It was just like squiggly lines of like...
There's nothing here.
Matt Walsh makes me feel better about myself. As like a YouTuber, a creator. Like, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're not hated by the majority of the internet. And we're not lying about children and like exposing their bodies to the world, so.
Or calling 16-year-olds fertile.
Oh my god.
I just simply don't do that.
He's wild. He's an insane man. Didn't he also say that like teen pregnancy isn't a bad thing as long as you marry them?
Yep, that was him.
He's got thoughts. He's got thoughts up there.
He's a stand-up guy. As in, if he entered a room, I would stand up and leave.
Stand-up comedian, as if I'm laughing at everything that he's saying right now.
Why did he include this? Because neither of them are making sense.
He's like, my video's 3 minutes long. I need to include another clip.
I need to bamboozle more kids on Fortnite.
Let's email Fortnite. Who made Fortnite?
Need to reach out to Epic Games. Go full Karen.
Epic Games, you need to get him offline now.
Epic Games supports transphobia.
Epic Games is freaking canceled.
But also, we're both still open to being sponsored, so hit us up.
I'm gonna be streaming Fortnite next week, so. Listen, if he can push the Bible on Fortnite, I can push trans things on Fortnite as well, okay? We can both play this game.
Yeah, that is your God-given right.
It's my God-given duty, not just a right. What should my name be? Transifier?
That sounds like a villain in a comic book.
Dr. Transer, yeah.
That's actually kind of dope. I'm not even gonna lie.
Changing my Twitter name right now.
Like, let her cook.
In Genesis 1:27, it says, "So God created man in his own image, and the image God created he him, male and female created he them."
He said he, them.
Adam uses he, they pronouns.
Oh my god, non-binary icon.
We're not even 5 minutes in, and I feel like we've been here for an hour. He's just like whining whenever someone doesn't answer the way he wants to.
Yeah, he's like, you're just so fucking dumb.
Just say it.
Sarger!
I'll tell your mom.
He's like, you know what, get your mom on the fucking microphone. I got something to say to her. Asks her what a woman is. Do you know your son doesn't know what a woman is?
You should take away his Xbox.
That would be bad for him though, because then he couldn't, teach him more Bible things.
He wouldn't have more children to talk to.
Honestly, that's probably a good thing.
I wish that was God's plan.
A woman is a character that can be loved in several ways. That can be treated in several ways.
Is a 12-year-old kid based?
Yeah, he is. He said you need to care for her, you need to cherish her, and yeah, he's right. Dr. Bible needs to learn something from him.
He's getting owned by a 13-year-old right now.
With his little notepad.
Maybe take some notes, Mr. Bible, Dr. Bible.
Just jot some footnotes down in your little Bible, sir. Or your big Bible. I don't know the size of your Bible.
It's not the size that matters, it's how you use it.
He's using it for God's work.
Multiple women of a woman can have different,
You can't use the word woman and your definition of a woman.
This kid's literally just trying to survive. He's getting blown up right now.
I'm trying to find a shield potion. Please stop.
Chug this shit.
I'm kind of impressed that he can multitask like this.
I know, reading notes, staying alive.
Imagine Dr. Witnesser wins.
Dr. Witnesser's fully dead.
He's dead?
He is dead.
He's just in the afterlife in Fortnite.
Poor guy. Honestly, now I get it. He's bad at Fortnite. I would be upset too.
We should challenge him to a Fortnite battle.
He seems like he sucks, so it should be easy.
Yeah, I mean, if this is how he spends his time, maybe he should up his skill level.
Yeah, focus on the game, sir.
Not talking to children, you creep.
Here, let me invite you, because if you really want those questions,
I'm gonna move on to my next interview, bro. Thanks for your talking. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
He said, you didn't give me the answer I want. I'm kicking you out.
I'm gonna go harass another kid. This is like wild. Like, this is embarrassing.
He published this on his own YouTube channel.
For the whole world to see.
You can hear every single thing that was just planted in his brain by Matt Walsh. I don't know. I think Matt Walsh should pay him or something.
He's like trying to get noticed.
Yeah, he's like, I love you so much. Look I even went on Fortnite for you.
He's a Walshinator.
He said, I'm doing God's work, aka Matt Walsh's work.
That's called idolatry, and that's like worshiping a false idol. And that's like a sin.
I feel like Dr. Bible should know that.
He has like the same strategy as Ben Shapiro. Because you know how Ben Shapiro debates like unprepared college kids and every one of his fans thinks he's like owning people?
Right.
This is the same thing, except his demographic is like 5-6 years younger.
Right, and they're like trying to survive in a game. Kind of sad. Like you couldn't pick on somebody at your own skill level.
I'm sure if we were in a debate with him right now, we would be able to provide facts and like rebuttals, but like if we're in the middle of a game, we're gonna be focused on the game.
You can never win with these people. No matter what you tell them, no matter what definition you give them, they'll be, well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
They're not looking to have a good-natured discussion.
No, they're looking to just be transphobic and like make a joke out of it.
Yeah, they're turning into like, let's own the libs instead of like actually trying to understand trans people.
What's that phrase? It's like,
I don't know if this is the one you're thinking, but weaponized incompetence.
yes, you knew exactly.
All right, let's see what other kids he's gonna harass.
So excited.
I'll just straight up ask you guys then, what do you think a woman is?
A biological female.
Okay, good answer. But I think there's more to it than that. There's just a little bit, just a
There's
little bit
definitely
more.
not.
We're always going to disagree with these people because we believe gender and sex are separate, as it's been proven, and they don't. So until like that gets cleared up, there's going to be like no use arguing with these people.
Right. And it's funny because they're always like, well, when you look at science, when you look at the basic biology, this is just how it is. But no science agrees with them. Like no scientific, academic, medical communities agree with them in the slightest.
They could easily Google it. You've definitely cited a bunch of sources in your videos. Like you provide the facts and evidence.
It's not even a hard thing to prove though. You just Google the difference between gender and sex and there's all of these credible sources. I mean, it just goes back to weaponized incompetence. Like they just don't want to know. They're making too much money off of being transphobic.
Although with 13,000 views, I don't know how great he's doing.
Yeah, no, he just loves Matt Walsh. He's a super fan.
But it's crazy, like there are so many people like him who follow Matt Walsh to this extent who don't have a platform. So it's like, how many people like him are just like walking around this planet thinking this is okay?
Most of these people, they're not gonna meet a trans person and like push these beliefs on them. They're gonna meet somebody that is cisgender, that doesn't look like how they envision a woman to look or a man to look, and they're gonna be transphobic towards them.
Didn't a masked lesbian a few weeks ago get kicked out of the woman's bathroom because she dressed not feminine presenting?
Yeah. I also saw a trans man that was like working at a company. The company said that people that are transgender have to use the bathroom that corresponds to the gender that they were assigned at birth. So he went into the women's room because he was born female, and the women in there were like, there's a man in here, like I am uncomfortable. Bitch, we told you so. We told you this would happen.
Like you literally have stated the consequences of shitty laws like this time and time again.
What's that TikTok audio? Oh no, it's the consequences of my own actions.
That's the perfect use of it too.
Crazy cisgenders.
It was irritating me like to no end. My wife was like, you need to calm down. I'm like, this is, but the guy who did the video was a conservative talk show host, and he was making a point that this whole agenda that's being pushed on us is being pushed on our children. You know, people are trying to get our kids to do these operations and these medical procedures with no ramifications and no, talking to them and stuff.
Where?
Right, like no they're not. They're simply not doing that. They're just mad that the young girls, quote unquote girls, that they're gonna prey upon are gonna, become boys and they won't be able to prey upon them anymore.
And that's the truth of it.
How am I supposed to impregnate a teen when the teen is on hormones? You said it. Matt Walsh, it was you.
I mean, he did.
You can Google it.
These are the consequences of his actions. You obviously have first-hand experience, but like, it's not easy.
Right. They think it's so simple, but especially as a minor, it is so difficult to be put on hormones, to transition, to do all this stuff. Like you have to meet with teams of people, teams of medical professionals to like be passed to do it. Like I mentioned in a video recently that when I went into my psychologist to transition, I was like, I can't live like this anymore. It's torture. Like, please let me transition. Please put me on hormones, all this stuff. She was like, no, like that's not how you do this. You have to go through a mental evaluation. We have to make sure that you are capable of making this decision to transition and that you're, actually trans and doing it for the right reasons. So all of this is just fear mongering. Like that's just not how it happens. And even if there was a trans kid, they're not having any operations. Like they're just not.
At the end of the day, it should be left between the child, the parents, and the doctors.
Exactly.
Stay out of people's personal medical business.
Like, do I ask about your medical history? And I don't want to know either, Mr. Matt Walsh. Keep it to yourself.
He said something before about like he was getting really pissed off at the documentary and his wife told him to calm down.
He's like yelling about transgenders and his wife's like, please, I'm just trying to eat dinner. Like, please.
Come on, honey, let's just spend some time together. What is a woman?
Are you a woman? Define it. Define yourself.
Tell me what a woman is, Martha.
Poor Martha. Somebody save Martha. Hashtag free Martha.
They're pushing this stuff on our kids, in other words, you know what I mean? And it's like really harmful to society. So it was a really good documentary looking at the effects of that kind of thing.
Says the guy on Fortnite talking to children.
You are so right. He's like, my job is I go into Fortnite and talk to children about the Bible and tell them that they're sinners and going to hell if they don't fuck a girl.
It's weird.
And it's also like young boys, you know what I mean? Probably young boys that are likely, leaning more towards his perspective. So he just wants people to agree with him. He's not going on to places that have people that are likely to disagree with him because he knows he doesn't have this evidence to back it up.
If an actual professional were to debate him, he'd be creamed.
Dr. Creamed, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, no, maybe not. Maybe we'll skip that one.
I believe you should be able to do whatever the you want. The government shouldn't be able to tell you to do But the moment you're trying to tell kids it's okay to be like all this other type of that's just stupid as hell. You gotta leave the kids alone.
Yeah,
And that
did you
whole
know?
trans, that's ridiculous too. Like that's mental illness. It's not.
I thought he just said that people should be able to do what they want.
I know, right? Like, let me trick the kids into being transgender if I want to. I'm kidding. It's funny because if he was a parent, he would say the same things like, oh, you should be able to do what you want. The government should stay out of it, blah, blah, blah. So if he had a kid that needed medical care, he'd probably say the same thing like, I don't want the government involved. I don't want people involved. It's between me and my kid. He's been hearing all these things from Matt Walsh and people like Dr. Bible. He thinks that we're out to get children.
When statistically, people like Dr. Witnesser and Matt Walsh are more likely to come after your kids, but I'm just gonna leave that there.
That's just a statistic. So.
That's just a fact.
Facts over feelings. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't like that around here. Dr. Witnesser doesn't like facts.
Did you hear about the guy in Canada who got arrested for calling his own child by the wrong pronoun?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, he went to a hospital because they were gonna force these hormones on his daughter without his permission, and he of course fought against it, and he like called his daughter by the wrong pronoun, and they arrested him and put him in jail, and he's out on bail right now.
That's nuts.
That is fully just not what happened. That man got arrested because he violated a gag order.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, the court was like, you're not allowed to, publish information about your kid's medical history, their names, anything like that, and he violated it. So he got arrested.
See, I didn't hear about that. That's f***ed up.
I mean, you don't. You just hear the headlines of like, man gets arrested for misgendering kid, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, if people got arrested for misgendering, then like half the internet would be behind bars.
Yeah, right. Half my comment section would be gone.
What do you think a woman is, bro?
What do I think a woman is?
Yeah, what's a woman?
Someone with ovaries.
Nice.
Giggling like a middle schooler in sex ed.
Yeah, literally. You said what?
So are people who've gotten hysterectomies not women anymore?
I guess not. No, they fully transitioned. Yeah, those are some man.
It's that easy.
I think it's kind of funny. Like, I'm enjoying that this is the representation of the Matt Walsh side. Just somebody that goes and attacks children on Fortnite.
Just the absolute, like, worms for brains.
My 6-year-old daughter, she has ovaries. Would you consider her a woman?
Matt Walsh would. Sorry.
So, bro, did you see that documentary on Twitter? What is a woman?
No.
Oh, it's a good one, bro. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. I jack off to it every night.
That I have it saved on my phone. I watch it in the bathroom every time. Freaking love Matt Walsh's face.
I want to turn his beard white.
I gotta go. That's too much. Too far. I grew my beard out just for you, Matt Walsh.
Just for you, Daddy.
My Bible face is ready for you.
Can you tell me what a woman is?
I don't know. Is this a trick question?
No.
It is.
Genuine question. Do they ever ask what a man is, or is it only woman?
They know all about men. They know what they need to know.
They know the ins and outs.
I think it's kind of a sexism thing, you know? They're like, no, we need our women to say pure.
With ovaries.
I need to plant something in your teenage ovaries, and I can't do that.
God actually told me that it's okay. I asked him this morning. I was in my worship session. I was like, God, I want a fertile young woman to implant my seed. And he said, I will give that to you.
On the way, Dr. Bible, my disciple.
I'm sending an ovary owner straight to your doorstep.
An ovary owner. Wow, that's gonna be my new Twitter name.
I'm asking you the question.
Bro, you're at 4 HP. Maybe you should focus on something else.
His teammates are just letting him die. They're like, no, man. No, I don't want to listen to you anymore.
Maybe we'll get him to shut up.
Have
I
you
don't know.
ever had
I play
intercourse?
Video games 24 hours a day.
Have you ever?
No.
You've never
I
had.
don't even know what that is.
Did you hear him say that? I don't know what that is.
Jokes aside, him saying, oh, you don't know what a woman is, so you've never had sex. Like, that's all you think that women are? Just objects to have sex with?
Like, that's our only purpose?
Anyways, Dr. Bible.
This 42-year-old man could not tell me it, like what a woman was, bro.
Bro, you're a 53-year-old man talking to 10-year-olds on Fortnite. Get out.
This man gave you an answer. He said no.
You are more of a danger to children than every trans person combined.
With that beard alone.
Like, I would feel safer in a room with 100 trans people than one of him.
Absolutely. I would also feel less, like, interrogated and interviewed. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to give you the answer you want. I don't know. Like, I've never met a woman.
Clearly, he hasn't.
At least after this video, he won't meet another one.
Martha left. She took the kids.
She was like 18, 19 now at this point after 10 years.
Yeah, she went off to college.
She joined middle school. She went boarding school.
Definition of a woman. Can anybody tell me?
Is a woman with breasts and titties and,
Breast and?
Do you have your notes?
Oh, I've got it. I'm already there.
Breasts, ovaries. Okay. Are you gonna go up to a cis woman who had breast cancer and had to get a double mastectomy and tell her she's not a woman?
Honestly, they might. They might. They don't seem like the most nice people.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, no empathy, no respect for your fellow human. That's what this all comes down to.
I mean, that no fake vaginas, right? Just like the real deal.
What did he just say?
He said, if you've had a boob job, you are not a real woman to me. Sorry. Also, the irony of it is like these bottom surgeries that trans people are having, like a vaginoplasty, even like a phalloplasty for a trans man, these are surgeries that were invented for cis people. You know what I mean? So when a cis woman had a vaginoplasty to correct like maybe like a birth defect, if you want to call it that, they wouldn't say the same thing to them. They're not gonna say you're not a real woman. And even like girls that have a boob job, like you're gonna say that because their boobs aren't real, they're not a woman. Their logic isn't logicking.
If anything, cis people have more access to gender affirming care a lot of the time.
Like one of the biggest people, like the biggest proponents of this anti-trans conversation, Joe Rogan, isn't he on HRT, like testosterone replacement therapy? There's such a double standard. It's crazy.
What is a woman?
XX.
A person with an XX chromosome.
I mean, the XX thing isn't even true because there are people born with like congenital conditions all the time that affect your hormones and your chromosomes.
Yes, like there are people that are born XY, which is the typical male chromosome type, that develop fully female.
While it might not be like the majority, you still have to account for exceptions.
I feel like these people really think that trans women think that they were born female. You know what I mean? Like I'm very aware of my biology, how I was born, how I live now, and it's...
But they just all think you're like delusional and out of touch with yourselves and you don't know what you want and you're traumatized and whatever transphobic garbage they have to say.
Like, at least I have an identity, and my identity is not just being obsessed with Matt Walsh in the Bible.
Yeah, because this is pathetic.
I wouldn't call my daughter a woman. She's a girl. She's a little girl. She's like 6.
Yeah.
But she's a female.
He keeps bringing up his 6-year-old daughter. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I feel like it really just goes back to that idea of like any definition you give them is never good enough. The person's like, yeah, a woman is a female, somebody that is, you know, biologically female. And he's like, well, not exactly. No. Matt Walsh says they're an adult.
And what he says goes.
He's actually signed, he's credited in the Bible if you didn't know.
Yeah, if he says 16-year-olds are fertile young women, that's what they are.
Why is there a Pride Month but there's no Straight Month?
Yeah, that's a good freaking question.
Because the Bible says that the foolishness of God would be wisdom to man, and the wisdom to men is foolishness of God. So there will be no ordained heterosexual Christian male praise or month organized for those groups of people because it's not what secular and sinful nation wants.
Babe, you're just saying words.
I know, I'm like, can we please speak in English? I can't. I'm just a woman. I don't know what you're talking about. It is heterosexual Pride Month. We already went over that. Happy Straight Pride Month.
You guys have this whole next month. Congratulations. Celebrating your culture.
Your very lovely culture that I love, that I'm a part of, yes.
Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave us your comments below. Tell us what you thought, and tell us what you thought about the documentary, What is a Woman? We're really interested to hear your insight. We hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
While we're here... Boom, there we go.
But I'm doing God's work. That was intense. How dare you share that with me?
I'm so sorry for ruining your day, for ruining this lovely Wednesday afternoon for you.
Good Christian woman like myself shouldn't be put through things like that. I feel like I'm like channeling Terry Jo right now. You know Terry Jo?
I love her.
She's just the epitome of a good Christian woman.
Right. A good titty haver, ovary owner.
Yes, both. Titty and boob. No, titty and breast. No fake ones, neither.
No.
It's unholy.
What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts are I'm gonna go block him immediately. I'm gonna block him on YouTube, I'm gonna block him on Fortnite. No, actually, we have to play him on Fortnite.
We do. So, Dr. Bible, Witnesser, Matt Walsh, writer, if you're watching, we would love to challenge you on Fortnite.
You're going down.
I wouldn't have wanted to endure this painful video with anyone else, so thank you for being on my channel.
Of course, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. Gotta express some trans joy when it comes to this kind of thing, you know?
Absolutely. So, for the sinners at home who may not be familiar with your work, where can they find you?
YouTube as Samantha Lux. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those different places, of course. I do a lot of commentary on trans things, LGBT issues. I talk about my personal transition. It's just a lot of fun. We spread a lot of trans joy over there. So come hang out. Come check us out.
I've been a fan for a while, so I'm very honored to have you on my channel.
You're so sweet. That means so much to me. When I saw that you were like following me on Twitter, I was like, oh, there's no effing way. I was a little bit of a fangirl.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone at home for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Make sure to subscribe to both of us for commentary and queer fun. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time with some brand new videos. Bye!